Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Drinks and Discussion Podcast. Haha, had to hit record on the machine. We about to fuck up.
Oh, Lord.
Yo.
Lord.
Look at how we're starting. Like, when shit changes, I never deal with it well when shit changes. Like, when AJ not being here, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my mindset be in a certain way. Whatever. All right. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Drinks Discussion Podcast. It's your boy King Bot, KB and GBAK. I got my homeboy Primetime Naeem here with me.
What up?
J Lil TV is not here with us today. He is somewhere cooking. So if you know where his house is, pull up on his house because he got tacos for Cinco El de Mayo. He got tacos popping off. No, don't pull up at that man's house though. But yeah. So yeah, he's not gonna be with us today, but we are here. We are live. We're gonna do what we got to do, man. How was your week, bro?
Week was good, man. Can't complain. How was yours, man?
Mine was good. One day you gonna come in here and get transparent with me about your week, man. Instead of just saying it was okay.
I be having boring ass weeks, bro. Like I just be.
This your work week. This your work week.
This is my work week.
Yeah, this your work week, man.
Yeah, I don't be doing nothing, man.
I be confused as shit, man. I probably would be missing work, man. I probably think it's my off week and not show up. You ever did that?
No, I haven't done that yet, man. But, you know, it is a little weird having 1 week on, 1 week off. It's like, it's not real consistent, man. But, you know, I'm dealing with it, man. All
right, for sure. Yeah, my week was straight, man. I ain't been doing too much this week, man. Just fucking corporate America, man. I hate it. Bro. I hate it with a passion. But nonetheless, So DJ Khaled dropped the album.
Yes, sir.
Recently, we just played Big Paper, the Cardi B song for the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear the whole album?
I want to say like 90% of the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your go-to jam on there?
Oh man, it gotta be the Lil Baby Dirk joint, bro.
Yeah, man, that shit was hard. Yo.
That joint was hard.
Yeah, that had to be my favorite. I should have played that one in the intro of the podcast.
That's what I thought you was about to play.
Oh no! You know, I was gonna give Cardi some love. I mean, I do kind of like the Cardi Big Paper song. It's probably my number 2.
It's so short though, man.
But I like it because it's like it leaves you wanting more. It's like fuck, Cardi, you knew what you was doing. Man. But
that Lil Baby joint, bro.
What was the worst song on the album, you think? Please say the same thing I'm thinking.
Is it the Justin Timberlake joint?
No.
Which one is it? Which one did I not like? I don't know. Which one you thinking?
That Jay-Z and Nas shit. I think that shit was fucking terrible.
Do I want to say it's the worst? It definitely wasn't the best. I don't know if I want to put it as the worst, man.
Okay. All right.
It's definitely underwhelming, man. Maybe I don't want to say it's the worst because it's Jay-Z and Nas. I'm trying to think of the other tracks on there, man. The Tiller joints was good.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 Tiller joints was better than that. The 2 Drake songs was better than that.
Yep.
It might be, bro. It might be. It's definitely down there, bro. Because now that I'm thinking about all the songs on there, most of those songs was better than the Jay-Z and Nas joint, man.
Bigger facts.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to go through look at the list one more time. But yeah, it's on the bottom of the list. That's for sure. It's on the bottom of the list. Got you. But.
All right, so speaking of celebrities, man, did you hear about the 2 fake Wu-Tang members?
I did not, man. What is that about?
All right, so these 2 gentlemen claim to be Wu-Tang, were scamming people out of hotel rooms and studio time.
What in the world?
They have been sentenced and charged. So you know Wu-Tang is like a big crew, so they have a lot. It's a lot of people,
right?
But
right.
My nigga, you know who Wu-Tang is. Like, you know, if you know the main people, but you don't know the subsidiary people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, nigga, if you the Wu, we would know. You know?
Yeah, right.
So apparently these 2 gentlemen were doing the scam so well, they like paid people to like be their bodyguards and like walk around with them. Wow. And their music is fucking trash. I thought about playing some of their music on, but I said, nah, I can't do that to my listeners, man.
That's wild, man. Hey, y'all need to chill with that, man, because Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Wu-Tang!
Wu-Tang!
Oh, shit. But yeah, man, that shit was just funny as hell to me, man.
Yeah.
All right, so did you hear about the Joe Budden Podcast debacle?
Oh yeah,
dun,
man.
Dun, dun.
I've been waiting to talk about this joint, man.
Cause you knew I was gonna want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, I knew you was gonna want to talk about it, man. Cause it's very similar to, you know what I mean, you know.
This, yeah.
To this, you know what I mean.
Yeah. While we are missing
certain situations,
are the most recent female member of the podcast, why she hasn't been on in set amount of episodes, and I just haven't addressed it. And I guess this would be a good point to bring it up at the end, but you know,
it's like, where do I want to start with this, man? Maybe I should start with Joe. You think I should start with Joe, man?
Always start with Joe.
All right, so we're gonna start with Joe, man. So it's very clear, right?
Okay.
That Joe views his co-workers as employees first and then friends later, right? And then this is when I realized there needs to be a clear hierarchy when you have a platform such as theirs.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think there was some misunderstandings on both ends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, you know, you could tell Mal was like really hurt over the whole thing.
That nigga was butthurt.
He was super butthurt. You could tell, man, because you know I see where he coming from though. I feel him, because his more thing is like, oh, we friends, but it's also a business, and you got to understand that.
Right.
At the end of the day, what's the name of the show?
The Joe Budden Podcast.
It's the Joe Budden Podcast, and that's why I say there needs to be a clear hierarchy as far as, you know what I mean, who gets final say over things. Right.
And my thing is this, so, you know, the first pod that they came back, Rory and Maul came back to the podcast. What happened was, you know, they were explaining their sides of the situation, and Maul said to Joe, you should have had the show go dark. You shouldn't have brought two of your other friends to fill in. I think he was totally wrong for saying that, because
he was hurt over that.
Yeah, right. He was totally wrong for saying that, because the podcast does not just employ you and Rory. Right. You have Savon in the back. You have Erickson running the cameras. You got Parks, you know, that records the whole shit. Right. So, you know, you're taking money. If you go dark, you're really taking money out of a lot of people's pockets. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Joe did, you know, what he felt was best and continued on with the podcast until they figured out what they needed to figure out behind the scenes.
You know, on an emotional standpoint, I see where Maul was coming from. Like, I feel like what he wanted, what would have been a better thing to say is like not stopping the podcast, but like, well, see, it was iffy, bro. It was iffy because one, Maul should have just came and did the show without Rory, and then it could have kept going. Okay. But he was steadfast on, nah, we ain't gonna do the show without Rory. Like, what?
Right. And I didn't, you know.
You know what I'm saying? So that part, I mean, I don't know, maybe he was expecting Joe to just do the show by himself, which I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't want to hear Joe yelling for 3 hours.
Bruh, like,
I definitely don't want to hear Joe yelling for 3 hours. So, that's not not my go-to.
Add to that though, like I feel like where I think Joe was wrong though, and I feel like you know, this, you know, when it comes to friends, like you should feel comfortable telling your peoples whatever, you know what I'm saying? Right. And explaining where you coming from, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean? Like, if you were to come to me and be like, you know what, man, there's some issues with the show, man, and, you know, blah, 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 you know, this ain't gonna work anymore. Right. I'm gonna be upset, but at the same time, I can only respect where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? Because it's for the betterment of the show. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the way Joe just sent like a text message like, don't come in, like,
and he hit the nigga with the exclamation points when he sent him the question mark, like what? He hit the nigga with the exclamation points.
Yeah, bro. Like that's where Joe went wrong.
Yeah, that was the bitch made shit.
That was the bitch made shit. He should have came off a whole nother way. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, as like I said, as them being friends as well, he should have felt comfortable coming to him and just being like, look, bro, I know this ain't what you want to hear, but, you know, tension's been high, explain the whole situation.
Right.
And then be like, instead of just sending a text, don't come in. Like, what?
Yeah, man.
Like, that's some wild stuff, man. That's like when you're on an NBA team and you find out through Twitter, like, you getting traded. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a courtesy there, being that they were friends before the podcast,
right?
And I feel like that's where Joe went wrong. Everything else, I'm cool with it because, like, bro, it's his show, bro.
Yeah, right.
No one would have been watching if Rory and Mal just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Maul didn't come in until later on. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he didn't come in until them niggas was already successful at Park's house.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So if it's like, bro, if it wasn't for Joe Budden, the name Joe Budden is what brought people to the podcast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I felt Joe when he was talking about, everything led up to this, so I ain't fucking stopping. I felt that, bro.
Yeah, right.
Because everything, him becoming a rapper and that led to this podcast being so successful. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I felt him on like, dog, yeah, I ain't stopping shit. You know what I'm saying? I felt that. But on another note, bro, as on some friendship, like, bro, you got to be like,
yeah, you gotta have that conversation open with your homeboys. Yeah, no. Yeah.
But this dude was like, so what? I was like, dang, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
Like, I feel it's a business, but you can be, you know what I mean?
Nah, that nigga was straight asshole mode, man.
Yeah, he was an asshole about it, bro. That's my only problem with Joe, bro. He was an asshole about it, man. These, they were your friends before your co-host, man. So you could at least, give him, you know what I mean? Like the dude was saying, just give him a little respect. Just, some respect about it. But
yeah, man.
I don't know, man. Let me ask you this: you think the show's gonna be the same?
It's been a little weird lately.
A little weird.
Yeah, because the last two episodes they took this week off.
Yeah.
So the last two episodes that they did.
I was mad at that shit. I was like, who are these women on here? I was like, this is trash.
What women?
Bro, they got some women on the Joe Budden.
Oh, I don't know. What the fuck you talking about?
Bruh, I'm going to have to...
Oh, you talking about Shorty, Mandy, and them. Okay, yeah, no. I don't listen to their shit. No.
Yeah.
No, but yeah,
you talking about the shows they did?
Yeah, so the last two shows that they did, they were pretty much still discussing the situation, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been kind of weird. It's been like the Redemption podcast. Yeah. So
before they took a break, they did one where they was just trying to get back to normal and just talking about regular stuff, boy. And Maul, bro, like he was acting weird, man. He wasn't saying much. Right, he went quiet for like a good 30 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Rory was trying to be laughing at everything. Like, I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, you know what? I do miss Rory not being there, cracking them lame ass jokes though.
Yeah.
His jokes be lame sometimes, but
the other two dudes, what was their name, man?
Ice and Ish,
bro. They were straight.
Ooh, new Ice and Ish.
They were straight. I wasn't like mad at them or anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was cool though, man.
Yeah.
All right, you ready to get into shit for today, man?
Let's get to it.
All right, man. So, what we get into today? Okay, so, did you read the topic for today that I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
I wasn't fully there with you, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, devil's advocate. All right. So today we're going to talk about excuses, man. We're going to talk about excuses today, man. I'm gonna start this off, man, by saying that I personally hate excuses.
I feel that.
I hate excuses from From my family members. I hate excuses from my friends. I hate excuses from, my partner or my spouse. I just hate fucking excuses, man. And I want to clarify that I hate excuses when it deals with an argument. So normally when you have a conversation with your partner, you come to your partner and you bring up to them, hey, you did X, Y, and Z that made me feel a kind of way.
Right.
Their innate response is to provide an excuse. Mm-hmm. Prime example, right? So I was dating this one young lady, right? And she says to me, I don't feel like you're available. Mm-hmm. And my next question was, available how? Like physically or emotionally? Right. And she said physically. At that period and point in time in my life, my response was, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, I'm there, I'm working, I'm doing this, I got school. I came up with all of these excuses, but I never took charge of the actual action that I was not there for her physically. Like I didn't spend that physical time with her or was giving her what she wanted. So I had to actually step back and look and notice that I was making excuses on a regular basis and having to make those excuses and understand that, okay, well, why am I doing this? Why am I making these excuses?
Well, see, at that point, you got to question, is Shorty a priority for you?
Right, right.
And if not, do you need to make her a priority? You know what I'm saying?
Right. But, the same thing can go for the flip side. So, if you come to, your partner and say, hey, Shorty, I didn't like it when you did X, Y, and Z. If their follow up is, oh, I did it because, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want an excuse. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when we argue back and forth, we're listening to them. We're listening to the person, but we're trying to pick apart their argument. Like we're listening to respond, not listening to understand.
Right, because people get so defensive.
Right. And it's like, why do we get defensive? You ever thought about that? Like, why do we normally get defensive when we're pushed into that situation?
I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of insecurity, or maybe it's just like the way it comes off, it feels like an attack on our character because of our own, like the way we internalize ourselves is like, oh no, I don't want anyone to think I'm that kind of person, so let me say this and let me say that, let me say this, like, oh, I'm not doing this because of this, you know what I'm saying? But to your point is, they're not trying to hear all the reasons why. They want to know what you're gonna do to fix it. You know what I mean? That's what they want to know. Right.
But you're correct. You're correct on that point. You're correct on that point. But in order to get to that point, you have to be listening for understanding, right? Not listening to respond. And that is what is the big issue now. Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, when's the last time you made an excuse?
Shoot, probably last week, man.
All right, would you care share with us what your excuse was?
My excuse was, hold on, let me think of a perfect example, man. I mean, God, I can't think of anything specific, but like we make excuses on a regular basis, man. Whether we're like, oh, I was tired, or I was busy, or whatever. But, to your point, like, I think there's a balance of, like, how bad do you really want something? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm of the mindset of, instead of making excuses of why you couldn't do something, Like, let's come up with some reasons of why you can do something.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where I'm of the mindset, you know, and I think, you know, people just need to understand that's, you know, people are looking for solutions, not for excuses. You know what I'm saying? So like when they bring up a problem that they have, you know what I mean? You know, if you break the TV, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be like, oh, what happened with the TV? Like, oh,
Did you break the TV when we was growing up?
Probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tripped, fell, broke it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whatever you say, the TV's still broken. How can we fix it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think, bro, like, that's really what it comes down to. But, like, you know, you be like, oh, I broke the TV. Like, oh, man, I ain't mean to break the TV. And, you know, it wasn't really my fault. And, like, no one really wants to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Yeah. I mean, so okay. So this is what I think. Okay. I'm just going to give my perspective on it. This is what I think. I think that what it comes from is us growing up in black households, right?
Okay.
Because you always had to cushion your consequence. You knew you fucked up.
Yeah.
You knew you fucked up, but you always had to cushion your consequence, right? So it's like, I wish AJ was here. All right, boom. Me and AJ got caught smoking cigarettes together, right?
Uh-huh.
My mom was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You smoking cigarettes, whoop-de-whoop, da-da-da. My thing was, well, AJ was doing it. You know what I'm saying? That was my excuse. Like, because, I mean, AJ's older than me. You know what I'm saying? Well, AJ was doing it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if all your friends jump off a bridge, you gonna jump, depending on how high the bridge is.
Right,
shit, you know.
You know that was coming.
Yeah, but, you know, but yeah, I think it comes from how we condition ourselves. Because, I mean, we that's a learned trait to make excuses when you're confronted with something instead of owning up to it and taking accountability. That's a learned trait.
Right.
I think that that's probably one of the things that we acquired along the years that we really need to start unlearning as a millennial generation.
Right.
Because taking accountability is a serious thing, man. Like if just imagine how many people would still be together if they were able to take accountability when they argue. You know, you're like, you know, fuck it, you fuck around and fuck this bitch. Well, you wasn't paying attention to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come back with an excuse.
They try to deflect.
Right. Like, yeah, I did it. Would you like to understand why I did it? I did it because I wasn't feeling this attention from you. So I felt the need to step out on you. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's taking account. Like, yeah, I did the shit. You know what I'm saying?
I seen a post the other day, man, where it was saying something to the effect of, now when things go wrong, the first thing I look at is, what did I do? Right? You know what I'm saying? Is you need to, before you go and say, oh, it's your fault, figure out, step back, think, okay, what did I do to lead up to this? And you know what I mean? I'm so glad you brought up accountability, because that's really what it's all about, is when things are going wrong, you got to be accountable for the actions. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? You're making excuses, this, and that. But at the end of the day, is what could you have done differently? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as an adult, you got to ask yourself this.
Yeah, man, you really got to start, you know, accepting your behavior and just stop making excuses, man. Like, I don't even argue no more, dog. I refuse to argue. I'm more so will let a person win an argument and just be like, okay, yeah, you got it. Or, you know what I'm saying, be like, are you done? Okay, so what's the next step we need to do to fix this? You know what I'm saying? Just depending on what situation I'm in. But yeah, I don't do that arguing no more, man.
I feel that, boy. It's wasted time and energy.
Right. So my next question is, why do you think men make excuses, dog?
Why do men make excuses?
Yeah, why do and more so, why do men make excuses to their partners?
To their partners.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Playing games. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
That's it.
You playing, man. You playing. If you know you keep making excuses for this and that, man. a lot of dudes, man, they like to keep a chick around. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like just keep them on that leash, man. But they don't want to actually like pull them in and take the relationship to another level. They just like having them in this level. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like, okay, like we cool. We go on a few days. We smash here and there. But like they don't want to take it to the next level, and a lot of times that's what women want. You know what I mean? They want to take it to the next level, and then dudes start coming up with all these excuses to try to keep shorty at a distance. At a distance, yep. So Norris said convenience. Convenience. Yeah, that could be one, man. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Damn, I think for me personally, the reason why I used to make excuses with women was because women are turned off so easily. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess I would be wanting to keep shorty around, and what I would do was, like, you know, when they would come to me with an issue like, oh, you know, you're not spending enough time with me, my thing was I would try to make an excuse to combat why I wasn't spending time with them. Right. And I had to kind of step back and think like, it's fucking me, man. Like, I can commit some more time. I need to commit some more time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and to be honest with you, bro, that's been a more recent lesson that I learned. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That I need to, you know, commit some more time. Okay, boom. You know, if you feel like you ain't seeing me enough, all right, I'm going to commit some more time. And then, you know. Because that's what you got to do if you wanted to work. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to work, if this is what she's feeling, you know what I'm saying? You can't ignore what she's feeling. Like, that's what she's feeling. So you gotta switch things up so she's no longer feeling that way. Right. And then, you know, of course, when it comes to the more dire situations, like, you know, niggas cheating and shit, you know, it's like you trying to cushion the consequences and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make it all. Where the fuck is you at? Why was you out until like 4 a.m.? I was fucking at your house. I fell asleep. But it should be true. Yeah, I mean, legit. It should be true, man. Legit, man. Oh man, so you know what? I was gonna start the next segment off by starting off with, I know you understand me when I say this, but you might not. All right. So growing up, we were taught about consequences and not really more so about forgiveness. Mm-hmm. You know, just, and when I say that, you know, it's like, we didn't do certain shit because we were scared of the consequences. Right. Like I never heard your mom yell at you. Oh, she's yelled at me before. I've never heard your mom yell at you, yo. Yeah. If she did, she didn't do it in front of me. I wasn't there to see it. She was good as far as like public punishment. She was good at not doing that. Okay, all right. Like she would pull me to the side or pull me into a room. Oh yeah, yeah. But she was good. Yo, remember our homeboy? He got pulled into that classroom. Oh my God! All right, I gotta tell y'all the story, man. I gotta tell you the story. Boy, all right, man. We was in middle school. Something like that, middle school. Yeah, we had to be a middle school, man, and we were cutting up in class, man. We was cutting the fuck up. So our homeboy, his mom was a teacher at the school, right? Next thing you know, we cutting up. I think the teacher had left. Whatever. His mom kicked the door smooth off the hinges, right? Ran in there and grabbed his ass and pulled him into the classroom next door. Now, the walls were very, very thin in this school. The walls were really, really thin. All I heard was, "You're not going to keep hitting me in front of my friends." Ah! Do. Bruh. It felt like he was getting, it sounded like he was getting murdered, bro. I felt like he was going to come through the wall. I was like, yo.
I felt like Holmes hit the wall like 8 times, yo. I swear to God, he did.
The teachers was looking like, yo, should we intervene?
Oh, what was it? There was another black teacher was like, you better not go in there unless you want your ass kicked.
Yeah, I remember she was like, nah, don't go up in there.
Yeah, she said, you better not go up in there unless you want your ass.
Homeboy. I was like, dang, bro.
Yeah,
your mama beating your ass in school.
And then he came back in there. He was trying not to cry, man. We was like, nah, dog, go ahead and let it out, bro. We heard it, bro.
You got it, yeah. It is, right. It is, bro. On that,
bro. Oh, man. Yeah, that's humiliating, man.
Bro,
that's really bad. I mean,
getting your ass beat by your moms, everybody get their ass beat by their mama. But at school?
Yeah, at school, man, in front of everybody. That's
bro. That was bad.
Yeah, that was bad, man. But I mean, that's the kind of era we grew up in, man. Like, we were taught about consequences and not really about forgiveness. Like, I don't think I've ever had a situation. No, I had one situation where my parents actually sat and talked to me after I did some bullshit.
Okay.
And that was the smoking with AJ situation. It really wasn't my mom, it was my dad. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas were scared, but I'm gonna tell your father. Like, no, don't tell him, But I was in the car with my dad. It was the day afterwards or whatever. I was in the car with my dad, and the nigga just said that shit smooth as shit, right? So he in the car, he's just like, so you like smoking cigarettes? I said, nah. I don't. My throat hurt and shit. I don't like doing that. Yeah, you gonna do it again? Nah. All right. And that was it. And bro, that lesson probably stuck with me than all the other lessons his ass tried to teach me and he beat me for. You know what I'm saying? Like, just something as little as that.
Legit. But I'm with that, man. Cause like even with with my sons, man, like I try to let them know. I try to let them understand like why something is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus this is wrong. You're on punishment. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I try to and I asked them. I was like, yo, does this make sense? Let me know if it's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? Because then if they say, nah, I don't get it, I don't understand, then I try to explain it to them in another way.
Right,
you know
right.
So they can get it. They can understand like why it's wrong, why you need to do it this way versus that way, versus just like, yo, you effed up. Time to get this belt. Like, nah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that belt, that switch, man. Ain't nobody want none of that, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think I'll probably be. Maybe when I become a dad, I'll probably be more of the talker. Like, come on, my dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you doing, man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing, man?
I still threaten them every now and then, but like,
you got to.
Yeah.
You got to put the fear of God in them.
Yeah, you got to put the fear in God. Because when I was young, I mean, they a little older now, but like when I was young, I used to hit them with that bop, 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 because they too young to understand. So now that they older, I talk to them more because I'm like, all right, you're older, you got a better understanding of right versus wrong, and now we can talk, we can have dialogue. So,
right,
you know what I mean?
Right, and you're teaching them at that point to listen to what you're saying, to understand that, oh, this is wrong. Right. And I think that may be the issue that a lot of us didn't get growing up, which is why we transition that over into relationships where we listen to fucking respond instead of listening to understand. And that be the real issue, because it's like, okay, if I'm dealing with a young lady and she comes to me with a problem, I have to understand that the problem isn't about me.
Right.
It isn't about me. It's about her and what she wants to convey to me. So at that point, I need to listen to her concerns, understand what she's saying, and then fucking fix it.
Legit.
That's it.
Legit.
That's it. There's no argument there. Legit. There's little to no argument there.
Legit.
I don't like it when you do this. Change it. All right, babe. You don't like it when I do that. I'm going to do this instead to see if this works to help me wean off whatever action I'm doing over here. Does that work for you? Yes, that works for me. Okay.
Oh, and also to add to that, like women or anyone in general, when you're coming to your partner with a certain issue, your delivery of how you say something is wrong is very important. Like, don't come off all aggressive. That's not necessary, man. I had one lady come to me and she was like, listen, you did this, and this, and it really, it hurt my feelings and it made me feel this way, and I was wondering if, what can we do, to improve this and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like blown away just by her approach. You know what I'm saying?
That was very mature of her.
That was very mature. That was very, this lady.
Shit.
Yeah,
What was this?
But yeah, I was like, damn, bro. I was like, man, that is like some grown woman shit right there.
Right.
Because she was just like, yo, like, and it made me feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Because if a girl comes at you aggressive, now you defensive. Now you can argue
right.
that.
Now you on the defensive, like, fuck, I ain't do that shit,
like, man. What you coming at me like that for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even that serious, bro. But like, she came at me like on some like, bro, like, nah, like I'm feeling hurt. She didn't come at me angry. She was like, yo, like this, it makes me feel some type of way. And the fact that she was like open enough to like be that vulnerable with me was like, yo, I gotta do better, man. And I appreciate that. And I was like, absolutely, I can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can make some things shake now.
I can make some things shake, bro. Right. Versus like you coming off like, oh, you did this and you did that, you did this. You know what I mean? She was just like, when you did this, it made me feel this type of, versus like, you know what I mean? Making it seem like, oh, I did something wrong. Instead, she was like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong, but when you did that, it made me feel this way or that way, and blah, blah, blah. Right. So I was like, all right, I get it. And now I understand. Now I'm understanding where you coming from versus why you coming home late? You know what I mean? She can be like, yo, when you come home late, I'm missing you. I feel lonely. I'm thinking like, what are you doing late at night? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? And I'd be like, dang, I know like me coming home late was making you feel that type of way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'll make more of an effort to, get home early. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That right there, that's a mature conversation, bro.
That is. That's it.
And that's going to lead to a long, prosperous relationship, man. I promise you that.
That's right.
I promise you that.
But you know what? It's so different when you coming from a relationship with toxicity, or straight arguments, to where you at somebody else's house and get the cops called on you.
Oh Lord. I'm too familiar with that scenario, sir.
When you're out of the country and you try to drown somebody in a fucking jacuzzi. Nah, that didn't happen. But I thought about it. The thought did cross my fucking mind. But when you come from something like that, and then you transition over into a more mature situation, it's like, bro, where was this last time? But without the toxicity, you wouldn't appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, without that toxicity beforehand, you would not appreciate the maturity. Right. That,
man, when I was younger, man, I used to think like that's just what couples did, bro. I was like, man, couples just argue all the time. That's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? But then it wasn't until, that's why I'm so glad that I've had a relationship where we managed not to argue about our differences, where I was like, yo, it really doesn't have to be an argument. No. Every single disagreement or everything, every time something goes wrong. I was like, wow, it doesn't have to be an argument every time something goes wrong. I said, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But once you experience that, you're like, man, you know how to do things now. Like, how things should be done.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't miss that toxic shit, man.
Man.
When I was young, that shit excites you and stuff.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh, she tripping, shorty tripping.
She tripping.
Fuck out of here, nigga.
And then you're like, oh yeah, makeup sex and all that.
Yeah. Like, yo, I used to fuck with girls that would argue. Like, I would, because when I was growing up, I was like super quiet, but when I transitioned like to high school and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's at that point, I got real talkative, real witty with my words. Like, I could have hella comebacks and shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I used to like push a motherfucker's buttons, you know what I'm saying, to get them to argue with me and shit, or find a girl that just likes to fucking argue or likes to fucking talk,
There's a lot of girls like that, bro.
Yeah.
They're like, I got a smart mouth. I need a dude who'll put me in check. Like,
why would you want that?
First of all,
what is appealing about that?
What kind of childish shit is that, bro? You are a grown woman, ma'am. Why do I have to put you in check? Put yourself in check.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's that little girl shit to me. Like, oh, I need someone to put me in check. Like, what the heck?
Nah, man.
You can't control yourself, so you need someone else to put you in check?
Right.
Is that what you saying? Like, bro, I am good on that.
Nah. Not happening for me.
I'm good.
Not happening for me, man. All right, bro. So, we have reached the conclusion of today's pod.
Oh man, we done already?
Yeah. But I do want to know what you learned today, sir.
What did I learn today, man? What I learned, what I take most from this podcast is a bit about accountability.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's the most important thing with anything in life, to be real, man. It's just like, just take accountability. If things aren't going right, take accountability for why things are not going right, whether in a relationship or just in life, man. Like, you know what I mean? If your business ain't taking off the way it won't, don't be like, oh, well, it's because they ain't giving me the permit, or so-and-so didn't help me, or so-and-so didn't come through with the, nah, figure out how to make your business work, bro. Same thing with your relationship. If it ain't going this, it ain't doing that, or blah, 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 they complaining about this, ask yourself, what can you do, for the relationship? Do your part, and then worry about, what the other person's doing, man. So that's what I take from this podcast, man.
Yep. Oh shit, we got a comment.
Okay, well, what we got?
How childhood trauma can play a role in your relationship with folks. I mean, it can play a role. It really can.
Absolutely.
Because if you come from a house of, your parents arguing all the time, like you said before, if you come from that area of your parents arguing all the time, you would think that's how a relationship should go. Like you said earlier, you thought that,
right.
Not to say your parents were arguing, because I don't even think I've seen your parents interact, dog. To be honest with you, because every time I used to come over your house, your dad be at work, it'd be your mom's there, and we'd be playing Power Rangers upstairs and shit, jumping off the fucking.
Was real low key, man. Like, they was part of that old school ish where if they argued in private. They wouldn't let us see it. You know what I'm saying?
I think more so. I know with my parents, it was more upfront because I was the only child for damn near 10 years. So, just me being around was like second nature.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that they disagreed on, they would do it in front of me, but just assume that I wasn't paying attention. Like, little kids soak up all that shit. Yeah, I still remember all the fights they used to have. Not that they used to fight much, but they did. Yeah. And a lot of the things that my dad says, or the way he says stuff, or just certain things that he said, I found myself saying that I had to kind of work that out my system, with dealing with relationships or whatever, man.
And I want to add a couple more things. It's just as far as like childhood trauma or any kind of trauma when going into a relationship. So first two things is, before you go into a relationship, you have to know thyself. You know what I'm saying? Know yourself. Know your weaknesses and your strengths. Because if you have some trauma, then you need to know that going into a relationship,
and be working on fixing
and
it.
Be working on
not just know it and just be like, oh, I know this about myself, but I'm still fucking acting fucking fool.
Right. So you gotta know these things about yourself, man. Because if you coming into relationship with this baggage, bruh, you gonna blindside your partner. They're gonna be like, what the heck is wrong with you? Because they don't know where you coming from. Right. So you gotta know yourselves, and if it's something that takes time to do it, let the person know, like, look, I know this is something I'm dealing with it. I just want you to be understanding, and maybe they'll be willing to work it out with you. You know what I'm saying? But let it be known, it is not their job to fix your personal issues. You got to go fix that issue yourself, get therapy or whatever you need to do. Right. To handle that yourself. You know what I'm saying? Don't push that on your partner. If they're willing to help you out with that, beautiful. But just know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's up to you to fix those traumas before you go bringing all your baggage into a relationship and messing up someone else's life, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
All that.
So Norris said he need a recap of
What do you mean recap
So Norris said he need a recap of the Joe Budden piece. So pretty much Norris.
He missed that, Joe.
Yeah, he said he missed it. So pretty much Norris, Maul and Rory left the podcast. It was some differences between Joe and Rory. They were like inviting each other to their hands. So they were like threatening to fight each other on the podcast. Joe thought it was playful banter. Rory was being serious. So one day after the podcast, they sat outside and talked. Maul had some input. Joe said to him, the podcast is none of your concern. So at that point,
he said it's none of your business.
Yeah, he said it's none of your business. So at that point, Joe texts Rory before one of the podcasts and say, hey man, how about you just take a couple weeks off? Rory questioned it. Joe just put the exclamation point reaction on the question, and you know what I'm saying, they were out of the podcast for a while. Joe brought in Ice and Ish, his other two homeboys, for the podcast, while he as a person fixed the issues with Maul and Rory, his friends, and then now they are back on the podcast, all things resolved.
But Maul could have been on the podcast. Joe just told Rory not to come, but Maul was tripping because he told Rory not to come, and he was like, "Oh, how are we gonna do the podcast without Rory?" And then that's when issues started to happen between Joe and Maul, and then Joe felt like Maul was siding with Rory. But anyway,
anyway, we getting ready to get about it. You said what you learned from the podcast today. Okay, so what I learned from the podcast today, man, I learned that we need to rewire ourselves as an entire generation, not to argue. I do think, you know, one of the main things we need to practice is conflict resolution, and how to, you know, how I don't want to say argue properly, but how to debate properly, how to express yourself properly.
Yeah, man. Kevin Hart was like, "Yeah, couples argue." I said, "Man, that's bullshit."
Yeah, that's grade A bullshit.
That's because he's coming from a very toxic relationship, and guess what happened? He got divorced after that.
Yep, he sure did.
Yeah, nah, couples ain't supposed to argue, bro. They have disagreements, but nah, they ain't supposed to argue.
Yeah, man. Just you got to learn how to just state the issue and find a way to fix it.
Absolutely, man.
Like everything else is, I mean, it is what it is. You know, just state the issue, find a way to fix it, and it's all good. All right, man. But we be getting ready to get up out of here, man. All the links to our shit is right here, man. Make sure you follow us at DND Pod on Instagram, Kingbot, KVNGBAK on all social media platforms. Follow my man Primetime Naeem at Primetime_Naeem. On Instagram, make sure you follow us on Facebook too. So I know y'all watching on Facebook, but those of you who tune in on YouTube, man, make sure y'all watch this. Man, look, yo, I sit Naeem this shit, and I'm kind of happy. So our last two videos did 1.5K.
We doing 1.5K
on Facebook.
Numbers.
Like, we got the YouTube following. That shit is cool. But 1.5K on Facebook. Y'all go and back and look at the last two live videos we did.
Oh yeah, man.
1.5K.
Like and subscribe.
Yo, that's all the followers from our fucking page. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I really do appreciate y'all, man, because I started this with an idea. I've gone through many a co-host, you know, but it's always been me here. And I thank you guys so much for just rocking out with me and kicking it with me. And, you know, Naeem, I appreciate you, bro, because you've always come through in the clutch, man. Yeah, man, like
I'm with it.
Like, you know, it's not like you coming to just reap the benefits now. It was like, bro, you was behind the scenes at first. Yeah. Then we brought you in front of the camera, man. You know, I definitely appreciate you, bro. All right, man, but we about to get out of here. Peace.